Good evening, everyone. I'm Reshma Krishnamurthy from Mums and Stories. We are a website, we are a platform where we feature inspiring stories on mothers, and we also, do events that feature storytelling sessions. We do offline events, online events. We do book reviews for children, also reviews of books that are related to motherhood and pregnancy, and inspiring authors and inspiring moms and interesting moms. We have one such individual. One of those, it's been one of the pleasurable occasions where we've had Miss Durga Shakti Nagpal with us today. uh, Welcome to Mums and Stories, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Reshma ji.
Durga, thank you, ma'am. Durga Shakti Nagpal, she is an IS officer. She's a mother of two kids, and she is the author of the book Grow Your Baby, Not Your Weight. This is the book which we are going to be largely, speaking to. And she's been inspiring to several people on for several reasons, rather. And this is probably another added layer to her list of accolades. The list can go on, perhaps. So I'll just stick to what is there. She's also been awarded the Youngest Woman of the Year award. And coming to the book, ma'am, you've given an introduction. In fact, it sets the tone very right at the beginning, where it figures out how ambitious and how focused you were since young. And it's interesting that you wanted to be uh, an officer, an IS officer. You wanted to join the civil services. All that was inspiring, of course, to read it right in the beginning. But you draw parallels of those abilities and those intentions to motherhood. So, can one aim for a perfect pregnancy? Would you see?
No, I think women are naturally born perfect. And most of us would agree, even the men would agree, because of our ability to procreate. That's why, there is this concept of Nari Shakti. It innately means that we are born with perfection, and that perfection gets manifested in everything that we do in our life, whether it is handling our professional careers, or it is preparing for an examination, or it is preparing food for guests at home, or
Yes.
being a mother. I think that perfection comes to us naturally because we're all born multitaskers. There hasn't been a time where women are doing one thing at a time. We're always doing multiple things. So that focus and determination which you were talking about, I feel that comes to us from childhood, from the day that she starts growing up, she starts walking, learning to do many things, and from the curiosity and from the upbringing that is given to her by her parents. And naturally that gets manifested, that strength of character, that determination, and that willpower gets manifested in everything, whether it's motherhood or your career or anything in life.
Sure, ma'am. But you also say that motherhood. In fact, most people would probably think about it as a stumbling block or a pause. I found it really interesting where you say that forget about blocks or anything. It lets you evolve as a person. Um, so, are most women probably, is it a mindset from the beginning, from the society, or do we need to recondition ourselves? What is it that you feel?
So I've had a little revolutionary and radical kind of perspective, and this is contrary to the common notion that a woman is weak when she's pregnant, because
Yes.
we're talking about pregnancy and motherhood, so it's nice that we speak about pregnancy first. That when a woman is pregnant, people say that you are in a weak condition, so be
Yes.
careful. But I feel, and all along I've very strongly felt this way, that how can you be weak when you are having a little human being inside you? You are taking care of that baby, growing it, nourishing it, and making it big enough, fit enough to be born into this, challenging world. So you have to be much stronger. That is why you will be able to give birth to a strong child. There is no way that a woman and a pregnant woman can be weak. In fact, I've written a word in my book, a sentence that goes like that: a pregnant woman is a powerhouse, and you can literally get anything done from her because of her own state of challenge, which she is able to conquer over. Different challenges arise during pregnancy every single day in and day out, so she has to overcome those challenges. That is what makes her very strong internally and physically. So she cannot be, weak at all. And whether motherhood is a stumbling block or not, I feel, again, I have a different perspective. I feel that, when you do something in life, whether it is motherhood or career or anything, if you love what you are doing, then you will not have to really put in any hard work. So hard work comes into play when you don't like what you are doing. Now, in
Yes.
my own personal case, I love my motherhood. I love rearing, two little children, and I love my career. So I feel that, both aspects of my life, being a mother and being a working woman, they are complementary. The more I enjoy being with my children, the more I look forward to going to work. And the more I focus on my work, I look forward to coming back home and being with my kids. So if you love what you are doing, life will not be as difficult. Definitely, there are going to be challenges because it's a huge responsibility when you become a mother. Everything
Yes.
becomes 10 times. So time becomes less and work becomes more. But if you are in love with what you are doing, it becomes easy and smooth.
Sure. Before I go to the next question, I'd like to, suggest, or if at all there are questions to Ms. Durga Nagpal, largely on the book, or specific about pregnancy or anything also, or one of the inspiring stories. Maybe she could share something little later. But if you have, do comment on the live section. We will put it forward to her. Okay, you in the book you also talk about mental health and how it is so important for us to take care, for women, for moms to take care. And one of the interesting lines that I actually found was, you say you need to learn to forgive yourself, forgive the child in the first few years, especially as a toddler or anything, on whatever they're doing. How does one go about it? How does one cultivate this habit? Because, I think we try to be perfect moms. Is that the reason why this factor
It's
comes as
coming
to,
back to us. Yeah.
yes,
I think the easiest way to learn to forgive yourself is to live a guilt free life. The moment you throw this emotion of guilt outside from your own
yes,
being, you will be able to forgive yourself much easily. That
yes,
extra baggage of guilt that we carry unnecessarily, that really kills on our energy. You know,
yes,
our failures may not be as big in life, but the guilt is what makes the failure much bigger and makes the task of forgiving much more difficult. So I feel that it's one thing that needs to be, chucked out of life is your guilt. It's something that we
definitely.
create ourselves and we destroy it ourselves too.
I know. Now, the book gives an insight on various topics, whether it's your recipes, whether recipes from your family, from traditions, or even on stretch marks, and where you say that, probably it can keep them at bay. So,
Yeah.
is it from your experience? Also, of course, I have to mention, you do mention the gynecologist, doctors, experts' views in blocks, which is there. But did you get to speak to other would-be moms, or is it largely based on your experience now that you're a mom to two kids?
Yeah, no, it is definitely based on my experience. I don't really like to talk about anything which I've not tried on myself first.
Okay.
So you need to be very strongly convinced about something on yourself before you can tell the world about it. So
Yes.
definitely, I tried it on myself and it worked beautifully because I did a combination of things to prevent stretch marks, like the book talks about. So there were a series of flexibility exercises. There is this moisturizing shea butter cream, which keeps your skin, supple and soft. And there is the habit of controlling your itch, how you control your itch. So this is a combination of things. It's not just one thing that works. one has to, of course, be very, very determined and focused, because the itching that happens during the last trimester of pregnancy is actually overpowering. But
Yes.
you really have to muster all your strength to not scratch your belly area. And having tried this on myself and being successful, I offered this advice to several other people in my family who are going through this journey of pregnancy. Luckily, it has worked in their case also, because they have, I've been very strict in terms of giving my advice, that if you want the results, you have to be very, very determined to reap the results. Your efforts have to be very, very determined and regular in terms of your exercises, your creams, and then the muslin cloth that I've spoken about, the
Yes.
diet. So everything goes hand in hand, and of course nothing comes easy in this world. So even if it's as tiny a thing like a stretch mark, it requires a lot of effort, but I feel that the results are amazing.
So why the decision to write the book on motherhood, on pregnancy? Considering that your career and the individual you are,
Hmm.
the first book, what I mean is, it could have been on something else. Was it a
Yeah, so that's
change?
something else that the book could have been on. That there's already a biopic, that's on the
That's
floors.
coming up.
There's a
Yes,
movie that's going to be coming up sometime end of this year. So I
we'll
thought
look
that,
for.
thank you so much. And why I chose to write on pregnancy and motherhood is because I feel that it was something to do with an inner calling. When I was in my last trimester of pregnancy, I felt that I was not gaining too much weight, but my baby was growing healthy. The doctor
No.
said there is nothing to worry about. Your
Okay.
arms, legs, your body, everything is fit. That's because you've been following a fitness regime before your pregnancy and during your pregnancy. So your belly area is growing, which means that you have a strong baby, and the rest of your body is absolutely fit and fine. So then this concept came into my mind, that why do we talk about overall weight gain when we talk about pregnancy? How much did you gain? How much did I gain? How much did she gain? It should be about how much did your baby grow? Did the baby get sufficient nourishment in terms of, the development of the tissues, the organs, the lungs, the brain, and, so many other things? That is what should be our discussion point. But we try and, generally focus our attention on something which is easy to measure. So that's why we say कि कितना वजन बढ़ा, कितना किलो बढ़ा. I
Definitely.
wanted this book to be an eye opener for women and for the world in general, who feel that pregnancy is a condition where women feel weak, or it's something which is a medical condition. I feel pregnancy is a totally natural phenomenon, barring a few complications, of course. One can really handle your pregnancy with beauty. You can enjoy it, you can overcome the challenges, and there's a huge base that I can reach out on. At least 50% of the population is womanhood. So I thought I could,
Definitely.
that if even if I'm able to touch their lives, improve their lives in any small way, no matter how many smaller number, it would be a big achievement. The internal satisfaction for me would be huge, because, like I said in the beginning, also, that this is something that I've tried on myself, and I've derived immense satisfaction and pride out of having curated two successful pregnancies. I feel that
Yes.
a woman can largely curate her journey, and why not give it a try?
Personally, for me, the book touched upon various insights, I would say, on motherhood in general that you mentioned, and that really clicked very well with me, considering pregnancy was over a decade ago, but still I could relate to so many things personally. And I'm going to read a paragraph, or probably you can read. Should I?
Yes, please.
Yes. So this paragraph from page 99. As women, we are conditioned to be caregivers for everyone around us. And this increases manifold when our own children come into the picture. But even as we take care of everything the child needs, we are teaching them much more with our actions than we realize. If a child sees that their mother is constantly sacrificing her own wants and desires, the child will grow up to take the mother for granted. Trust me, this was so insightful because a lot of mums that I've seen, my own mom and many others, we are forever on this guilt trip that no, if we do this, what will happen to the child's needs? So, it actually brings point, that point to the, forefront. Self-care, perhaps, do you think there needs to be a support system or be practices as an attitude? What do you say?
No, definitely. It's both ways, actually. Asking for support is actually an attitude, I feel, that it should come in naturally. When you are a part of a family, then the process of child rearing should also be a responsibility of the entire family. Of course, there are certain things which only a mother can do. So there can be no substitute. And that list is huge. But wherein the fathers, the grandparents, the children themselves can take that space, they
Yes.
should do so. I've seen little children helping their mothers, fathers helping children do their homework, and helping mothers in the kitchen, grandparents helping. So that's how a family is run. I feel that motherhood should actually be familyhood. But why it's called motherhood is because the 90% of the share of the responsibility has to be handled by a mother. But this journey becomes a lot easier when you have family support. वो कहते हैं ना कि घर में नाना नानी या दादा दादी हो तो लड़ाइयाँ बहुत कम हो जाती हैं because of the simple fact that the grandparents and the grandchildren have common enemies, which is the parents themselves. So grandparents और grandchildren की बननी बहुत जरूरी है.
Definitely, ma'am. But considering the career that you have as an individual, well, you've been in, you worked a lot in rural India. You must have seen rural life, unlike many of us, perhaps, who've just seen at a distance. And so, do you find that their motherhood, their way of dealing with pregnancy, is fancy free, is more practical, or is there anything that we can learn from them?
Oh, yes, I totally agree that, the way women experience their pregnancy journey in rural India is limited in one sense in terms of access to medical facilities and access to information, but it's very wide in the other sense that
Yes.
you're working till the end. In rural areas, the women don't have any help, so they continuously work till the end. They are cooking in the house, they are mopping the floors, they are working in the fields. Some of them are even working at construction sites, breaking stones and using those हैवी जो वो सर पे रखते हैं जिसमें सामान लेकर के ढोया जाता है एक जगह से दूसरी जगह, ये सब काम वो लास्ट तक करते हैं. एंड दे हैव नॉर्मल डिलीवरीज. रूरल
Yes.
एरिया में तो सी सेक्शन का कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं है. एंड एज यू
Mm.
मूव टुवर्ड्स द सिटीज, द सी सेक्शन केसेस बिकम रियली लार्ज इन नंबर. तो मुझे
Mm.
लगता है कि जो मेरी किताब है वो भी काफी हद तक रूरल जर्नी से इंस्पायर्ड है. जितना मैंने रूरल एरिया में काम किया है, द एक्सटेंट टू विच आई हैव ऑब्जर्व्ड एंड लर्नड the rural life, especially of the woman folk, it has several things that can be imbibed during a woman's journey of pregnancy. That simple pregnancy, simple living, simple eating, and being active till the very last days.
Awesome. You're so inspiring as an individual. It would be a crime if I don't ask you, your childhood. How did you prepare for the civil services and little bit of the career? Anything that you're comfortable talking about, even for moms who want their daughters or kids to join civil services, how should they go about?
No, I think definitely mothers should encourage, especially their girls, to be very strong and forthright. They should be conscientious, and at the same time, they should encourage their children to take on the world.
Yes.
If you're a strong mother, then your child is bound to be strong. See, there are umpteen cases where the father is strong naturally because, the perception of a father is of a strong character. He works, he handles the financials, and he does so many other things which are more visible in
Visible.
comparison to a mother. So the mother's effort, in some way or the other, sometimes get unacknowledged. But if the mother is strong in her own life and she's able to teach that character to her children, then it will be very easy for them to make achievements, to set them to achieve what they want to achieve in life. That strength and fearlessness from day one is the most crucial factor. whether you're preparing for the civil services or any other career. Because as you enter into your professional career, once you finish your student days, then the challenges become more. There is more uncertainty in your life. There is the uncertainty of job, there is the uncertainty of a different city where you have to go for work, then there is the uncertainty of finding the right life partner, and so on and so forth. So if the mother and the parents in general teach their children to be strong from day one, then they'll be more prepared to handle these challenges. And I
But
think that
did
is
you
what,
prepare? Sorry.
yeah.
Did you start preparing from class 7 or 8, considering you are from a family of bureaucrats and you knew about the background? Or did you
Yeah.
have the goal in mind?
Yes, I definitely had a goal in my mind. I didn't start that early, like in class 7 or 8, but definitely the day I stepped into college, I knew that this is a 4 year engineering degree that I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to have plenty of time to, prepare for my civil service examination. So I did start from my very first year of college itself.
No.
So that goal was very clear, that I wanted to get through soon after my degree, my BTech degree was over. So I didn't lose any time. I started preparing from day one.
All right. Now coming back to this one, the book and your current phase. I think your second baby is right now very young.
Yeah, she's
So
five
how I
months
it's 5 months. Okay. So how are you juggling things around, or are you at home for now? How's it for you?
Yeah, so I'm literally juggling like a clown who juggles with like 15 balls in one go. I think that is the only thing that has that is left in life for me to learn how to juggle the balls. Remain, minus the balls, I'm juggling absolutely everything. And I'm really enjoying. The more I juggle, the more entertained I get, and I do get angry also in between that I'm not able to juggle so well, but I keep trying so that I can bring in more perfection and happiness into this task. It's definitely very difficult to handle two children rather than one child, because when I had my one daughter, I thought there is no time at all in this world for me. At that time, this was my notion. So after having a second daughter, there is no scope of that notion also to be left. Literally, there is absolutely no time. But you have to make time, like I've also spoken about in the book. You have to make time for your own self. So, specifically in her case, the second baby is 5 months. I have made time to focus on my fitness, on my exercise, on the right kind of eating habits, on my
Okay.
social outings, my hobbies,
Mm.
my recreation. I'm trying to make time that amidst all this juggling, the me, the ma, and the me don't get compromised.
You've always known to be a bold officer, and as a very forthright individual. So, did any point of time in early in your career or in your life were you scared of, or you didn't let that come into the forefront? Or now that you're a mother, has that changed to something? Have you become more sensitive or more bolder? Is there anything?
No, I think I've always been a sensitive human being, and that's largely because of the upbringing that my parents have given me. Being the only child, I got a larger share of their time, which I didn't have to share with, a sibling. So that sensitive part of my character has definitely come in from my parents. And at the same time, that boldness, I attribute that to my, father, particularly, because he says कि he's a very strong advocate of fearlessness. He says कि अगर डर गए लाइफ में, तो then आपने अपना खेल खुद ही खत्म कर दिया. You don't need to have any enemy. You've created your own enemy by being scared in life. So being scared, he always tries to draw a similarity, and he tells me an anecdote that being scared is like walking with an umbrella and waiting for it to rain.
Okay,
So
nice.
that's how he has taught me that even if it rains and you don't have an umbrella, there is no reason for you to be scared. Your strength you have to derive from your inner self. That is the kind of upbringing that I've had, and after becoming a mother, and especially overpowering those physical and emotional challenges that come with any pregnancy and motherhood, I think I've become more sensitive and at the same time bolder in life, and I hope my girls also become like that.
Definitely. In fact, I was fascinated that your parents actually chose your name as Durga Shakti. While I was preparing whatever, a little bit of motivational talks or whatever videos I was watching about you, and I was thinking, did they really name it and try to encourage things, or it was vice versa?
That's a very
Because
nice question, because when the whole episode of Chasing the Sand Mafia happened and my name was all over the newspapers, so a very dear family friend asked my father that, did you know all of this is going to happen and that's why you named your girl with this name?
yes, I mean, it was fascinating to know about that.
Yeah, so
Anyway, coming
my
to the
father. Yeah, so I was just concluding that my father, with all his humility, he said that yes, I knew this was going to happen. That's why I named her.
All right. I did find the book awesome, published by Rupa Publications. This is for all the viewers out here, Grow Your Baby, Not Your Weight, and for all the would-be mums, particularly. I would definitely recommend the book from Mums and Stories. But lastly, anything specific you want to tell the would-be mums, considering, in general, women or rather individuals, people have been quite anxious in the COVID
Yeah.
phase in the last 2 years.
Hmm. Hmm.
Pregnancy or motherhood is something, which most of them, they're probably, deciding whether to go ahead or not, considering the, pandemic and virus
Yeah.
and so many things, hospital visits and all that, or general insecurities. What would you tell them?
Hmm.
Would
So,
be mums.
yeah, for the insecurities particularly, I would want to say that when you seek out too much advice, then your inner conscience gets a little mellowed. And it's always important to listen to your inner voice and then follow your heart. In majority of the cases, you will not be wrong when you follow your heart. So there is definitely an element of risk when you plan anything new in life, be it a baby or a new job. But then when you take that leap in life, you get those beautiful results which are of a lifetime, which bring happiness throughout your life. So listen to your inner thought, to your inner conscience, and do what you feel is right about your body, about your life, about your being in general. That's it.
Well put. Thank you so much, Ms. Durga. Thank you for being on Mums and Stories. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And we'll look forward to more books, perhaps, and the movie and whatever you achieve in life.
Thank you so
It will be
much.
quite inspiring for
Thank you
everyone.
very much, Reshma ji. It was wonderful talking to you. It didn't feel as if, this is an interaction that is happening for the first time. It felt as if we've met and spoken for several meetings in the past. Although this is our first meeting today, but I felt very much at home talking to you. Very comfortable, very informal. Thank you very much.
All right. We do have a comment by probably somebody you know, I'm assuming. Lovely to see you, Durga. I don't know whether you can see that later
Yes, I
on.
can see. Thank you so much, Mandeep. Lovely to see you too. We can not really see you, but we can see your smiling picture and beautiful long hair. So thank you so much for your comment.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yeah. Good day.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.